You know, going out and getting interviews for your documentary, for your film, for whatever it is you're working on, can be a bit scary, a bit daunting at first. But what if I told you there are a few things you can do to really set yourself up for success? And that's what I'm going to explain in this video. Let's jump in with the intro. So prep. Do your research. Do your research on the company, on the product, whatever that is. Do your research on the person that you're interviewing, the CEO or whoever that person may be. Make sure you do some research on them so you can have something to talk about. Find something common between the two of you. Also do a pre-interview. This is just hopping on the phone for about 15-20 minutes and just really getting some preliminary questions out of the way, and maybe in questions you want to ask them over the camera. And be like, look, I asked you this over the phone, this is what you said, you think we can reiterate this, that sort of thing. So the pre-interview is actually really important, and I would highly suggest you do that beforehand. Have your questions ready in advance. I actually have a template of questions that I use quite often on most of my shoots that I have just on my notes app, like what's your name and title, what do you do around here, what's your day-to-day look like, things like that, things that you know that you can really start forming a story with, and also have specific questions as well. So have your interview questions ready to go. This is not fly by the seam of your pants. This is not breaking news. This is stuff that you can actually control. So having the right questions ready will help you out. The next one is to be low impact. And what I mean by low impact is basically, if all you want to do is bring in a camera and a tripod, then do that. If the lighting's sufficient enough, like if by a window or whatever, have it low impact at first, especially if this is an ongoing client. I would just go in, simple setup. Don't make it very intimidating. Don't bring a crew of 50 people with you. Maybe one other person, maybe one light. Just make it super low impact at first. See what you get and then go from there. If you need to reshoot later, that's fine. I get it. If this is a $50,000 shoot, then by all means. But all those people are pretty invested in making this video really good. But if you're doing documentary style, corporate videos, things like that, journal stuff for social media, things like that, go low impact. Don't be too intimidating. I remember I just got off a shoot recently. Clients loved the footage. They loved the shoot. And all I did was just bring in the camera and use the available light around me and try to be as low key as possible. A little mic I stuck on the lady that I was interviewing, and just really just make it low impact and make it unobtrusive and easy to talk in front of a camera. And with that, keep them in a natural setting, whether that be their office or out in the field somewhere where they're comfortable and that looks like they're actually at work. You know what I mean? You don't want to take them out, in the middle of the street if they work in an office building, that sort of thing. So keep them in their natural setting so it feels more natural to them. The next tip is have a conversation. Now, I know you have some questions already written out. It's gonna feel all formal and stuffy at first. Remember, this is a conversation. This is a back and forth. The questions are really just something to bounce from in case you are lost in conversation, in case you come to a point where the conversation naturally ends. You'll always have something to look back at and refer to so you can pick the conversation back up. So really try to have a conversation over just reading questions and getting an answer, because what you want to do is dig deeper beyond just that initial question so you can get the good stuff. So the importance of having a conversation is that you let them forget about the camera. They forget the camera's there because they're talking to you, not the camera. And always remind them of that too. Say, look, you're not talking to the camera, you're talking to me. It's just me and you are having a conversation. Be a gentle, presence there for them so they're not intimidated. I would even make them laugh. See if you can cut a joke, tell them a joke about what your kids did earlier, compliment them on their clothes, just make them feel comfortable. And as you're going through your questions, don't feel like you have to stick to those. Go off script, bounce off their answers. Like if they said something that cued you up to ask another question, go for that question, dig deeper, try to get the good stuff. And the last one is to circle back to the beginning. And what I mean by that is some of the questions that you asked earlier on, the interviewee, the subject that you're interviewing, was probably a little stiff. They were a little nervous in front of camera. And so what you want to do is, now that you've talked to them for 15, 30 minutes, you want to go back to those first few questions, and even some questions they might have felt stiff on in the later questions. Really circle back around and see if you can get it said in a different way. Now that they're looser, now that they're more comfortable in front of you, make sure you retouch on those things. You might find that you'll probably get a better answer, and you'll get an answer that's more natural and less stiff, and that just flows better, and it'll help you out in your edit and makes them feel more human. What you want to do is you want them to be human. We all know there's lights and camera around them, but you still want it to feel genuine and feel connected, and that's what's really important. So I hope you found these pointers helpful. Please like and share the video. It helps me out, helps get the word out to other people. Please just hit the like button and comment and subscribe. Please subscribe, because I'm gonna have more of this coming out as I help you out in your filmmaking journey or whatever it is you're doing in this world that we live in which content is abound.